Hey there everyone, this is Nick as founder and CEO at Hitgoc. So in previous video we saw how to work with tables in HTML, right? And now in today's video we're gonna see the new thing, the JavaScript, right? So basically we have come to an end, right? Working with HTML and CSS, just these two things, right? So we're gonna dive into some core fundamentals of web development, which consists of JavaScript, right? So yeah, let's get started. So I'm not gonna dive deeper into it. Like, I'm not gonna explain the basics or the fundamentals of the JavaScript, right? So if you guys have knowledge about programming languages and something like that, it would be quite easy for you guys to understand. Else I'm gonna uh I'm gonna explain you some sort of things like the terms and the methodology, something like that, side by side, right? So yeah, that's pretty much. Let's get started. Okay, let me just, okay, I've cleared this body tag, right? In here, okay, before I get started, we're gonna work with a button, right? A click event basically on a button. So what exactly the compiler do if we click the button, exactly, right? So what I want to do is, as soon as I click a button, an alert dialog box from the top of the screen would appear, right, saying that this button is clicked, right? So this video is gonna be about the event listeners and initiating with JavaScript, external JavaScript, something like that, right? So okay, cool, let's get started. Okay, yeah, we have a button component with name click me, right? Let's just hit save, open the live server. Okay, it's here, click me, right? Let me just make it to the center. Oops. Right, again the same methodology, display flex. If you want to center any component, just wrap it inside a div, right? Flex it, justify content center, and let's give margin top, right, 15%. 15%. Okay, it's here. Cool. Now, um, right, I want it to be bigger in size, right? Let's take it to 100 pixels and height, that'll be 50 pixels, right? Yeah, that's pretty much looks good. Okay, now I'm gonna give it some ID call button, right? So yeah, that's it with the HTML part. Now I'm gonna connect the scripting file, the JavaScript file with it, right? So let's just create a JavaScript file in your working folder. Again, the name could be anything, but extension has to be js.js. JS stands for JavaScript, right? So now where to mention exactly. So when it comes to CSS, we open up a link tag with rel attribute, href attribute, and we place it inside the head tag, right? But in case of JavaScript connection, we have it very different, right? We have a script tag, and it's not a self-closing tag. You have to mention this closing tag, right? Because everything has to be come up here in between these two tags when the compiler runs the code. So basically, first the HTML is being rendered, right? Then the CSS, and then at last the JavaScript. So yeah, that's pretty much it about it. And here we have our source attribute src. In here you can give the path to your script.js file, hit save, and that's it, right? So let's head towards our script file. Let me uh, explain you something. So if you are familiar with any of the programming languages, rather this JavaScript language, you might be familiar with data types, right? So we have in JavaScript we have some sort of data types like let, we have const, and we have var. So if we work with let, that is basically it. Whenever it is assigned to some sort of a variable, the variable is, it becomes mutable, right? We can basically change the value of that variable. So basically we apply such things to almost every data types, right? Let is basically assigned to each kind of every kind of data type, right? Whether it could be a data set, array, string, number, float, anything, right? But when it comes to const is basically, it is also uh, universal. Basically it could be applied with any sort of data set, but its value is immutable, right? We cannot change the value once assigned to a variable, right? We cannot change the value of the variable. So it has some sort of a drawback and some sort of an advantage, right? So other comes with where is pretty much similar to let, but uh, it is used in terms of, numbers, digits, and yeah, basically mathematical expressions, right? So for now let's just stick to const because I don't want to mutate the value of the variable that we are going to use in here, right? So we're going to use a button variable btn, and variable name because we could be anything, right? It's up to you. And in here we got some document keyword which reflects to your HTML document. Dot want, there's this method called get element by id. It basically extracts the information about the element by using its id. So you need to mention the id of the button, right? Sorry, not id, but it's button, right? So this id basically. Cool. So document dot get elements by id, right? Basically it's extracting the element by id, which is button, from this html document, right? And it's storing this all the information inside this variable btn button, right? Okay, here comes the next step. Next step would be event listeners. Basically what would happen when we click the button, or what would happen basically when we type something into the text field, what would happen when things change, something like that. So it basically listens to the event, the current event, right? So again we have this variable and dot, we have a method called add event listener brackets, right? So when something starts with the dot and we have brackets at the end, we call it a method, right? Or function maybe, but in terms of javascript we call it method. Cool. So in this add event listener method, we have first argument is click, right? Because we are working this by this, we are working in this click event, right? Then second argument is gonna be a callback function, callback arrow function. This is basically a function of arrow callback function without a name. It's just it's just direct, right? It's just very instant. So you, all the arguments has to be passed in here. You can pass any sort of arguments as per your choice. And in this curly braces we have to mention basically what would happen when this button is clicked, right? Or what would happen if this event is occurring, right? Or something like that. What I want is, I want to alert a dialog box saying this button is clicked. That's it. That's all I want to do. Hit save and let's check the output. Hit refresh. Press click me. Okay, it works. Cool. This button is clicked. So that's pretty much it about the uh, add event listener methods and on click events on button, something like that. And we're using external JS files and CSS files with it, right? So I myself prefer, external scripting and CSS file. Not in terms of CSS. In CSS I use inline CSS, of course, because it um, basically reduces the time and the effort, right? So but in terms of scripts, people can basically write in here as well. Like we can write anything over here as well. It goes to doc right inside this inside this script tags. But I would prefer you guys as well to go with the external scripting file, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it about the video, right? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next upcoming videos. Peace out.